What's your GPU?
What's my GPU?
Yeah.
The 2080 Ti.
Yeah, the TI. Add filters, please.
Add filters. He's like, all right, stop making. All right, so we're going to click the filter icon and let's just start adding a few filters.
Okay, do the following. Add the canyon filter, please.
Canyon filter. Here we go. I think this is one of a favorite of yours. It's the canyon filter.
Okay, now increase the sharpness strength to around 80 or 90%. It's a second slider. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going back and forth. You can see there.
That's good. Okay, and now, yeah.
And then,
and now add the, click on the add filter here. Let me see.
Add filter.
Yeah.
Is the text too small for you?
Yeah, it's a bit. Let me see. I just run it on my own here. Let me see. Because I found a pretty nice combination. That's really cool.
I'll do a different combination later that I've thought of that was pretty nice. But yeah, we'll do this one.
Okay, here we go. Then I added the where is it? Yeah, I added the grid simulation.
Grid simulation, and I know where that's at right here. All right. Which, by the way, for a comparison from the last state of development video, the filters are stacked in a list form instead of the square form. And the rules that we had before aren't automatically down here, but they're under the effects icon on the right. So there will be more options here later on, but it's nice to see almost kind of like a tab type feature where you can focus on just the filter settings, and then you say, okay, how do I want to distribute this filter? You just click on the rules icon here on the right of the layer.
Let me see. Go ahead and add the erosion flow.
Okie dokie. Erosion flow down here at the bottom. So far, this is looking like a pretty nice mountainous region that you've got me doing here.
And now add the mountains filter.
Mountains. Just testing the order.
Yeah. Move the grid simulation. Right, exactly. And now add the add the roughness filter.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Here it is. It's an experimental.
Fourth from the bottom.
So roughness.
Yeah, just okay. Now it looks weird. Okay, I know. Lower the first steps up to level 10. Don't lower level 10, but lower any other level step to 0. You just can click also the numbers below.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Clicking on the numbers.
Okay. And I'll reduce the last level step a little bit. The last one, just a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
To 25%. Yeah. And okay, now you have these. What I wanted to show is that the roughness filter is filling up the things in between. Actually, it was not meant for that reason, but it does it pretty well. And if you use the length slider, we have to update a little bit. But if you use the length slider and reduce it, I don't know, to something like 1.20 or so.
It's almost adding sedimentation.
Right, exactly. We just found it by accident. actually. So we have to see if we can utilize this any further.
Mm-hmm. It's quite
How's it running on
interesting.
your?
Sorry.
How's it running on your 2080?
Yeah, on the 2080 Ti, it's running pretty well. Only you not really utilizing the graphics card that much. The percentage of how much it's using is pretty low. So I'm getting over 100 frames per second, on the VRAM usage here in the top left.
Okay, so you have 100 frames?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
stationary. If I move around, it gets to a little over about roughly 60, depending on what I do.
Please, just stand still. Then I will adapt my terrain exactly to yours. I have exactly the same terrain. Not exactly the same because you're having the shape, but it doesn't matter. Okay, let me see. Here we go.
Okay.
You have 100 and how much?
114, 113, 119. It's.
You want to see the difference between a 3090?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 360 frames.
Oh, wow. So the same setup basically, but
yeah,
double the frames.
Same, but three times faster. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
Put my order in for me.
Yeah. One more.
Yeah, of course. So one real quick thing that was asked, will we get presets for the filters to select from? And will we be able to save and load our own?
Absolutely. There will be presets for the biomes. I mean, the entire biome settings. You will be having presets for the filters. You will be having presets for the textures, for the objects, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. What we actually plan is we are planning a wizard at the start where you can start and creating, or you can choose from a very distinct set. Like you would say, I would start with an Arctic biome or a desert biome, and we're doing all the background calculation for you, and you have just to figure out if a few values to put in, and then we're creating a whole landscape for you where you can directly start off. So you going in World Creator 3, you're just picking a few values and you have a complete terrain. That's very what we're trying to achieve with this biome wizard.
So that seems pretty nice. So you have it all these predefined things in the start where you can kind of decide how you want to add, where you want to add and whatnot.
Yeah, we're trying to make it as easy as possible to start with World Creator 3.
Mm-hmm. Which is the key, especially for new users. And I imagine based on that question, whenever you select add filter here, there was discussions on kind of a window that pops down. Right now, they're just in a list. So there'll be a much more, I guess, intuitive way of those being displayed to you in categories and different sections. But I'm assuming that one of those sections that whenever you go to add a filter, maybe there's a preset category of the stuff that you've saved from previous projects. So if you like maybe that's also that way for biomes. You have either a filter combination that you like or a biome situation that you like. You can save those out, whether it's in the add biome or the add filter as a additional tab.
I'm sorry, just got a call. Just a second, please.
That's fine. Does that sound quite right to you, Gator, on how that would work out?
Yes. So of course we are planning to save as much as possible. We are discussing about to saving your own UI. We had a lot of discussions about this specific topic here. The adding filters is an ongoing discussion topic.
Of course. There's always a new filter to add.
Yes, and we're iterating a lot. So we have in the last versions, we had all kinds of different controls and buttons, and we had pull down menus. We have it in the giant list. We had the drop down list. We be experimenting it a lot, especially with the add filter button, and I don't know where we'll be ending with it.
It's never ending.
It's
No.
a never-ending story. Never ends. Improvement never ends. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, I think one of my favorite things is adding textures and things. Of course, at some point, we've discussed this before. You'll have your own material libraries and things, but I guess this is something I haven't thought of. How will materials be handled? I know you can, even in World Creator 2, you can import your own, texture maps. And we've discussed previously how many new additional texture maps would be coming. Like, there'll be albedo, diffuse, roughness, maybe specular, height. We could probably use some cavity maps. Maybe if you've got a flow map that you've created from World Creator, perhaps to use it. Different possibilities, but say you had a library of materials, whether that's from that you've made already, that's out of like Substance Designer. So using a substance file, or having a link to the Megascans library, or having a link, or somehow using Polygon's library or Game Textures library. Some of these different companies have different ways of saving out as a single, adjustable file. Like in different engines, if like take Substance, for example, if you have a Substance material in Unity or Unreal Engine, you can adjust that material within that application natively. Would there be any support like that within here? So say that you have that material, that file in your library on World Creator 3, can you then adjust that specific material to the degree that you've coded it, like a material function, so to speak?
Okay, so you mean something like you have a substance material, which is a procedural material, and if you import it into World Creator, you just can expose the material settings directly.
Yeah, basically that's
substance binders.
Yeah, that's one example that, in Substance Designer, you can code it to where you can have these controls in third-party applications outside of Substance. Other companies have this type of thing too. Like you can make a material and a material function and function sets in Unreal Engine 4. I didn't know if that utilizing those types of terms and technology as far as creating your own materials here is a thing, and how World Creator 3 connects to those rendering engines as well. And I'm sure we'll get to that later on. There's lots of things that we definitely want to cover, but I know materials are a big one that I particularly love doing. Like just doing colors. This looks like it's textured, but it doesn't need. Like you don't have to have a material to use or to design in World Creator 3. You can. Like I do that in World Creator 2 even now. Just don't even worry about the textures, because sometimes textures can boggle down your system, depending if it's a 4K or 8K texture. They could really slow your system down and how many that you have. But in here, for design purposes, if you're going to be using this elsewhere, you could easily just do all colors like this, design the splat maps and heat maps and stuff, and use those elsewhere. But it's fun to have all the material capabilities that you are able to, easily put in here.
Well, of course, this is possible. This is not a problem. It just means that we would have to take, let me explain this very easy. Think of an API that Substance delivers us, and could just include that integrated API and import their material system and expose every single slider in World Creator as well. Mm-hmm. So the material that you've imported, you will be able, or should be able to, entirely adapt inside World Creator then too, and also probably export it or save it away, right?
Right.
And it will just behave exactly the same in other applications then. Now, in World Creator 2, the reason we did not include Substance and any other things like that was that the rendering or the renderer engine in World Creator 2 was not, or you can't compare these two. Yeah, you already see it. You can't compare them.
Yeah.
World Creator 2 is more on, game-like rendering things, whereas World Creator 3 is focusing on cinematic renderings. So World Creator 2 was pretty cool for doing some prototypes stuff regarding renders, but if you wanted to do a pretty nice render, you probably have chosen another application as well on top in the pipe. So World Creator 3, we just want to go a different approach. So one of the goals of World Creator 3 will be that, the renderer is going to be improved furthermore. So this is just an early adapter. It's not finished. The plan is to have World Creator 3 as a pretty awesome rendering engine for, especially for outdoor scenes, for terrains. Of course, you'll be able to load other objects and just render them using the same techniques. So having something like Substance included in World Creator 3 makes a lot of sense. World Creator actually will grow much, much larger. I can't expose any more information about this, but
no, of course.
One of the things we plan is to have a suite where this terrain tool is actually just a part of it. Okay. So there's a lot more coming, and with the new engine we have, it's all possible to do so, and we're gonna do this. So yeah, without telling too much, so just to answer your question very quickly, yes, we want that to have, and of course it is intended, and yes, it is also possible. So yeah, expect it. We just need to be careful a little bit because of the performance. Substance is also a real-time thing. It's a procedural thing, and and it's also performed on the GPU. So it depends, what is allowed, what can we expose, what should be restricted a little bit, because we don't want to lose the performance on generation. So we need to see how that process integrates perfectly into the application.
Of course.
So that color is nice.
I'm just messing around here while you chat.
Well, I don't like this water right now, so this is gonna be better as well. So.
Yeah, it's perfectly understandable. So yeah, as you can see, we could just play around and have a lot of fun and keep adding detail and things. I know back to what we had mentioned before on things that people would like to see is the tiling system, exporting system, which I haven't talked about that just yet, and savings and settings and things. There's going to be multiple ways to customize this program for your use. I know they've mentioned the UI and colors and text and things, and movable windows, different things like that. Talk a little bit about y'all's integration with Octane, if you're able to, because I know that's something that's been new quite recently.
Well, yeah. So, the long-term goal is to have some sort of integration, like pushing your terrain over to Octane, using a specific World Creator node inside Octane to change the terrain quickly, based on the exported things. But it's not really clear right now what would be the best way. So this is still under discussion. The deal with Octane is, it's a pretty amazing one. We plan to have World Creator 2, the standalone version, as is right now, which is fully available. We have it released on the Octane store as a subscription. Initial price, I don't know. I think it's something about $10 or something like that. for the initial months or so. But don't get me on this. It's not really decided right now. So, but you know, think of something like that.
Yeah.
And as soon as Work Creator 3 is done and finished, then we will see. And we're gonna enter the Octane store Work Creator 3 as well as a subscription model. So, but this is still a long way to go for Work Creator 3 now. But for Work Creator 2, actually we already did the build for Octane. Let's say it's not for Octane, it's for Otoy. And so yeah, if everything goes well, then we can start just in a few days, or probably in a week or two. Let me see. Yeah, 2 weeks, something like that. I want to bring these two applications, Octane and these and those Octane plugins, much closer together with Work Creator. So getting things over to Octane will be pretty easy and pretty fast, which is good for those who do landscapes, cinematic landscapes, all those animations, all this. Probably with a live link. So yeah, we will see. We still have to figure out what would be the best approach.
Right. Well, that's really cool that you guys are integrating those together. I'm pretty anxious to see more of how that comes about. And so, how far down the line do you guys expect to see, exporting functions added to the software? I know there's not an icon up at the top row just yet for exporting, but I'm assuming that there will be later on.
Yes, of course. Regarding exporting, so I think the first initial export will be just like exporting everything with a single click, but this will be just for testing reasons. So if you click on export, it just exports a height map, it exports all the texture maps, the mask, the flow maps, and whatever else we have, just for development reasons, to see are they accurate, is everything in, are they working, is the export in general working. So at that point, actually, people can already use Work Creator 3 for the productions. But because it's beta, you should be a little bit careful because the filters might change slightly, and so you might get slightly have a different result. Anyways, export will be way more powerful than Work Creator 2. We want to have the ability where you can set a single channel. Let's take RGB. So you are the one who's deciding what goes into the red channel, what goes into the green channel, what goes into the blue channel. So don't think in terms of colors, think in terms of bytes. So you have full controls over every single channel that you're exporting. So actually you will also have a custom export where you just can export some kind of a map where you decide what information is inside that map, right? So for example, you could export a map where you say, I want to have 16-bit for the elevation, the first 16-bit, and we have another 16-bit, which should be, I don't know, 8 bits for whatever, for the flows or whatever else. So it's up to you. It's entirely customizable then. And that's pretty cool because we'll have, of course, the default settings for images, for height maps and all that. But you'll be able to have your custom settings as well. And this makes it ultra flexible for exporting to every application of your choice.
That's wonderful. I can't wait to see what everyone comes up with on these new features that we're showcasing here. Like even this 2080 Ti, you can see we've added all of those filters. We did a few colors, and I'm just going back to the custom base shape tool again and just having a little fun setting it up, changing it on the fly. So it's
tilted.
Oh, let's go this way.
I don't want to see that. Oh, cool. Look at this. Wow. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
So it's just right on the fly. And maybe you don't like how some of this, maybe you don't like how that looks actually. Okay, so that's one thing that probably needs to fix is you make a selection, you change the rotate, and I don't know if your selection stays or not, but I'm just going to
No, it doesn't.
rotate this a little bit.
It just gets. Yeah, you have to reselect. We gotta change that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rotate that high mountain in the middle.
Oh. Yeah, let's
really large one.
Select this and let's rotate it around. Or maybe we rotate it around over here.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's all live.
You just copy it, right?
Yeah, I just copied it right over.
Right, that's
so
cool.
maybe that's another thing that you could do is
that looks good. Oh, that looks good.
Maybe that's one thing that we can specify is whether or not, like depending on what edit mode you want to do, is if you want it to copy or not. So maybe it's another tick or checkbox or something. Say, hey, you just want to rotate this, but you want to copy this.
Yeah.
Let's see if this bugs me down. There we go. I changed the precision level to be a little bit higher.
Now your TI is going to die.
Nope, it's still 8. It's still doing its job.
Okay. Good.
It's still doing its job.
You got a 2080 Ti, man. This is a really good, ultra powerful graphics card.
Yeah, so, it's really good, and that's another thing. Not everyone's gonna have the 3090 or the 2080 Ti or want to get into the 3000 series yet. So, I'm sure there's going to be in the settings panel here, which again is the gear wheel. Not a whole lot has been added here yet, except for the transparent background screenshots, which is really cool. I might add being able to remove the background, but keep all the effects of the terrain. But, having different graphic level options for different machines, different graphics cards. Maybe there is, being from the gaming industry with you guys, maybe there is a cool benchmark that we can come up with that you run the benchmark. It tells you, it helps, optimize your system to work, whether it's performance or quality wise, for the program.
Yeah, right. That's a really good idea. Yeah. Makes sense. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And Roland says, I think this begs for a horizontal toolbar on top with directly clickable edit modes. Right. Were you talking about in the custom base shape tool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. There will be a toolbar for this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For the different edit modes, perhaps.
Yeah.
Different toolbars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
there will be toolbars with icons and all this. This is just the developer look.
Mm-hmm.
It's not published or nothing else. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, this isn't
just for a quick iteration, so we can test and play around and see how it works. And once everything is set up, then we're just gonna change it.
Exactly. So I think that is all that I had in mind to cover today. Was there anything that either of you wanted to add to answer or talk about before we ended this stream today? Or if anybody else had any other questions in chat, feel free to ask. Or, also be sure to go to the Discord server. That's where the conversation always is flowing daily. Well, I think that ought to cover it then for us. I don't see any more of Roland's questions yet in chat, but wait 1 second. So click the left axis on the steps and drag it up and down. For which particular filter? Oh, maybe it's maybe we can do canyon or roughness. Oh, reset all to 0 or 100.
I need to click there where the 25th value is. You can just move them all, everyone at
Oh, I see.
immediate. Yeah. Or if you double click, you can set everything at one place as well.
Okay, so that's something new that I didn't realize. So these the left
Right.
side, adjust them all at the same time.
Right. There's a few more gimmicks like this. If you double click things or
Mhm. Oh, I had this set up here.
just need to have a paint. Like if you just move your mouse and hold the left mouse
a
button
paint
down,
feature.
and yeah, quickly adapts quicker.
Yeah, it is quite nice to have them all quickly adjustable like that. Is there? Oh, here's a good question. Is there a hole cut option for caves and such? Being able to cut a hole into the mesh.
Is there a hole cut option for caves?
Like say, okay, so say here in the side of this mountain, we want to make a cave right here. Can you cut a hole into the terrain to presumably use as a cave entrance in a different application? I would imagine.
No.
Actually,
you would use a mask.
Yeah, this is one of the most wanted features, and I got the question a lot in support, but it's just technically not possible to do this with a height-based terrain. So that's not by us, but it's mathematically not possible to do this in an height map-based terrain system. So you have to do this like in Skyrim. They're doing it with they're doing it in the engine, and they're doing it by a lot of tricks. So you have to do it in the external product.
Yeah. Just mask it out. I mean, you could just mask it out in World Creator, but you won't see that cave in World Creator. So if you move it over to your engine, then you say, okay, where the mask is, it should be just transparent, and the collision mesh should not work at that location, and then you will have to, just model your own cave and adapt it exactly to the cave entrance, and then it will work.
Right.
But we won't have that included here. It doesn't make really sense. I mean, at some point, if we just choose and decide that we want to have a voxel representation of the terrain as well, then this is no problem. But for now, with this height map representation, we won't have this included.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Will we get to select for example, a mountain with the new brush and only export that one as an object instead of exporting the whole terrain? I think that went back to what I said earlier about making a selection like this and wanting to see a higher level of detail of that particular. But yeah, the exporting is a good idea too. So maybe with that selection, there's something in the UI that says, what do you want to do with this selection? I don't know, but or it would be cool if I don't know if we brought this up today or not, but being able to save selections. So if I want to save this particular selection into a list of something like a layer system and name this selection, or if I know that I can call this little peak here like sub peak 1, and I can change different settings for it specifically. And I know I guess that's kind of getting into the, quote unquote biome system, but I meant as far as being able to save this selection, mask wise to use elsewhere.
Yeah, sure. I understand what you mean. I mean, actually, it would make sense even if you're just marking your portions of it on the terrain, just for exporting reasons. Then you could just jump from one selection to another and tell, okay, export the splat maps, export the texture maps, export the terrain. So this makes sense. hey Gator, put this on the list. I really like that actually.
Already did it.
Maybe we can just do the entire export based on this kind of workflow, where you just select the entire terrain or just select a portion of the terrain, and then you decide how to export it and what to export. That's a pretty cool thing, actually. I like it way more.
Depending on what you want to use, because maybe maybe you see this piece here and you're like, oh, this is a really cool mesh that I could use as a background mesh. A mountain element, distant in the background, and you can just plop that in there as an OBJ or FBX or whatever file format you wanted to export to with textures and whatnot, and you don't have to worry about going in and setting up these exuberant cropping things that you have to do in other applications. You can just export the mesh as is. Right. So really, really great feature there.
There you go. We got a lot of new ideas, so this is really cool. Just for doing the live stream, isn't it awesome?
No, yeah, that's we'll definitely keep doing this more. I like this type of format, being able to answer questions on the fly. Are there filters which you will handle differently in the future with the new brush? Example, craters are a candidate to place random spots and apply rather than single crater or on each and every one of the spots.
Using the brush, you mean?
Yeah. Yes, I believe so. So say if you had your brush and you applied the crater filter, a single crater, or however you want to do the settings for that filter to that specific brush or selection that you've saved.
Yeah. Yeah, this makes sense. I
mean, okay, so
the brush will be customizable. So imagine an image and you load it as a brush, and that brush gets rasterized actually. And then that raster would just fit to your subdivision, and you could just move out a crater or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's saying so.
It's like a stamping system. Imagine it like a stamping. I mean, we just could fully incorporate the stamping system into this new custom base shape.
Right. That's what I was just gonna suggest. So say if you had, because the current crater filter is procedural right now, which is great for, all the filters are procedural. So it's great for the procedural use, but there's instances where you want to do all these things customizable yourself. So if you had wanted to put a crater here or here or here or here or here, like you specify these points here where you want a crater, and you save, this selection is being saved to a list, and you say, okay, in these specific different selections is where my crater alpha map is placed, or my stamp is placed.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a good thing. That's actually one of the things that I was wanting to do for World Creator 2, but we'll probably transition that into World Creator 3, is show you guys how to, create your own stamps from this particular terrain. Maybe you can make a selection like this mountain, and depending on your export settings, you want to export a alpha map or a height map of this particular selection on a, 1K by 1K, resolution texture or whatever you want it to be. And you could use that as a stamp in any project, or you can say you want to create a preset based on whatever's in here, whether that's filters in this selection or if it's textures in selection. So whatever happens within this selection is a savable preset that you could use somewhere else. Particularly, I don't know. I'm rambling thoughts here.
Okay, so wait. This is awesome. I like this. Selecting, and actually you're selecting, let's say you're saving this as a biome.
Yeah.
And it just exports this like full biome.
Yeah.
And you can just reuse it anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. Why not? I mean, wait. This actually just solves the biome painting thing that we wanted to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does it fully, actually. Great.
Well, I guess this talk solved that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Awesome.
Have you filled up a sheet yet, Gator?
I already did.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. That's great to hear. I can't wait to see. At the beginning of this stream, we talked about how fast you guys implement things around. So, clock's ticking.
Don't pin us down on that stuff.
I'm just teasing. Yeah, I hate to put. I'm the type of person that doesn't want to put pressure on the devs, because I would rather you guys spend more time polishing something that you care about looking right than trying to hurry up and rushing a filter or a feature out without it, being, especially whenever we get closer to this particular version being beta for everyone, publicly. If I would still probably keep like a closed test version, for X amount of people, just to make sure any of the new features that you may or may not be confident in showcasing just yet can be fully tested. But I understand the way that World Creator 2 was constantly being added to, and I know that's a really good fluid way with the community is having their feedback, implementing that feedback, seeing if it works. So I mean, it's however you guys feel comfortable in doing it, really.
Awesome. Just writing it down as well here on paper. We had the paint through custom base shape. We had the export in custom base shape integrated. What was the other? There was another one. What was the other?
The high level of detail of a specific area.
Yep. A denser amount of detail for that particular selection.
For a given area. Same for screen space rendering. Yeah. Whoa, nice. I like that thing in the middle.
Oh yeah, me too.
Okay.
We got it?
Yeah.
Every depth of field, definitively.
Yeah, all the different camera options and things that you guys like to show. So I think we've talked about quite a bit of things today, more than I thought we were going to get into, which is good.
Yeah.
We'll definitely want to have more of these type conversations, streaming stuff as these major features come out. Definitely whenever I personally am going to want to do one whenever height maps are enabled, being able to add real world height maps to this terrain and customize them and shape them and sculpt them, as well as having a special stream on further sculpting techniques and painting techniques and things like that. So we'll definitely cover it all. I really like this format of live streaming these devlogs type things, and we're also recording this in a 4K version. So if you guys wanted to rewatch this again later, you can definitely go to my YouTube channel to watch it later in a higher res detail, because the poor guys here with me, we're only getting a 720p version in Discord, unfortunately, which maybe next time, I think my computer has handled itself quite well. Maybe next time we'll try to give them a higher version, because I'm doing multiple things at once. But is there anything else that you guys want to showcase that we haven't showcased, or if there's any further questions in the chat? I know I said this once already before, and then we got a slew of questions, which is great. I'll answer questions as long as you guys want to roll them in.
No, I'm done from my end. So
I'm also too, and yeah, I think we covered a lot today.
Definitely. It was a lot of fun. Well, thank you guys for joining the stream, and thank you, you two gentlemen, for hanging out with me and for the past hour and a half dealing with this. It's been quite fun today. We'll definitely do one again. And as I said, don't forget to check out Discord and World Creator's different platforms of social media where they post all sorts of great community work, community renders from both World Creator 3 and World Creator 2. There's a lot of great artists out there utilizing this software, and we'll be sure to keep you guys updated with new features and streams as they're added. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.